spots, and both men are back here challenging for what would be a remarkable middle distance double. Jinson Johnson, he was the silver medalist the other night, but perhaps the greatest threat is going to come from Qatar. Hamza Driouch, something of a controversial figure. Also there is Musab Ali wearing 697. A dozen men. They're lining up right on the outside in the colours of Iraq. That's Umm Fash, a 342 athlete. Here is the major contender from the Islamic Republic of Iran. Just missed out on a medal in the 800, finished fourth. That's Amir Muradi. Here is Musab Ali, the first of the Qataris. Ryoji Takizawa, a polite bow for the crowd. The biggest crowd we've seen so far this week here in the Athletic Stadium. There is Al-Sadiq Makou. And here is Hamza Driouch, World Junior Champion back in 2012. But what a story Manjit Singh is. 2 or 3 years ago, lost his job, had terrible injuries, and he's back now, coming into this final as an Asian champion. Here's Jinson Johnson. We just passed Mohammed Tiwali, who individually is perhaps the greatest threat here to the Indians. OJ1 wearing 570, Korea Republic. Jolomanov of Kyrgyzstan. It'll be easy to spot in those colours, right on the inside. We have the Chinese representative, Liu Yuxi. So they used to call it the blue ribbon. It's the men's metric mile, the 1500 metres. Official just checking the toes are behind the line. 3 3/4 laps of the track. Well, perhaps the greatest threat here to an Indian double again is the fact that they're competing, both Manjit Singh and also Jinson Johnson, for the 4th straight evening. 2 heats of the 800, a heat of the 1500, and now a final. And it is Umm Fash wearing 905, one of the outsiders who's gone straight to the front. Johnson there in 2nd place. Muradi, the Iranian, there in 3rd. And in 4th place, look out for him, Tiwali. At the moment, Rob, it's a very modest pace indeed. It's waiting for someone to take this race by the scruff of the neck.
It is, and I wonder if it continues like this, it may begin to play into the hands of the fast finishers. But Jinson Johnson playing a good tactical game at the moment. Tiwali looks well poised up on the shoulder of the Iranian, who was only just off the podium in the 800 metres. 697, Musab Ali, the Asian under-20 steeplechase and 5,000 metre champion, right at the back of the field, and now beginning to lope his way through the other back markers. He's doing a good job. Now he's just beginning to wind up the pace a little bit, the Iraqi, but they're not interested in going with him, Martin. The big men are all queuing up behind, waiting for someone to make a really definitive move, which they still haven't done.
But they're almost through halfway in this 1500 metre final. Still Montage out in front. In 2nd place is Johnson. Then comes the very, very dangerous Tiwali, who has run 3:34, which is world class, although that was 6 years ago. The Chinese starting to make a bit of a move. Luo coming around the outside. And at the moment, the 800 metres champion, Manjit Singh, only has 2 men beside him. So, the penultimate lap. They're running 3 or 4 wide, which goes to show there's no pace on this race at the moment, but each one of these men making sure that they're in a position to cover the move if and when it comes. 138. Wait for him to take off. He's itching to go. It's Tiwali. He strutted off the track after winning his heat. He had the air of a confident man. He may well be the man there, 138, to make the move. But look at Johnson. Look also at Muradi, just waiting to cover any moves that come. Manjit Singh, fourth from the black, wearing the blue vest there of India. He's got a tremendous kick finish. We saw that in the 800. It looks like he's adopting similar tactics here. This time they'll hear the bell, and it is Tuali, who moves to the front for the first time. Look though at Johnson, the Indian record holder. They're in third place. As it has been throughout, it is Al-Umfwaj who leads. Tuali there in second place. No sign yet of Driouch. He's well back. But it is Al-Umfwaj. Now the kick starting to come from Tuali. Here goes Muradi, who just missed out on the medal, trying to get there on the inside of Tuali, but Tuali knocks him back. No sign at the moment of the 800 metres champion. He's back there in about 6th or 7th spot, but he will finish very strongly. But it's going to be Jenson Johnson, a silver medalist into the 800, who hits the front first. And Johnson kicks. 5th place in the Commonwealth Games. A silver medalist here in the 800, but now he's not to be denied. Manjit Singh is finishing very fast. He's left it far too late. Johnson takes it. A tremendous performance. Muradi, 4th in the 800, comes through with a medal this time. But that was almost simple. In its own way, it was rather reminiscent, dare I say, of that old Olympic final in 1980, when Sebastian Coe was denied by Ovet. And Coe came back in the 15, having run a dreadful race in the 8, and made no mistake in the 15, and that's just what Johnson has done here. He got it wrong 2 nights ago, but this was a performance without blemish. India win the 800, they win the 1500, they dominate the middle distances in Asia.
A brilliant piece of acceleration there from Jenson Johnson. When he went to the front, it was absolutely definitive. Muradi had used his elbows quite a bit in that race. You can see the tension rising in the face of Tuali, who was trying to hang on. Muradi was trying to force a gap on the inside down the back straight that wasn't there. He tried to force a gap round the top of the bend that wasn't there. In the end, it made no difference to Jenson Johnson. The 800-metre silver medalist is the 1500-metre champion, and he did that in style. Here we go. Muradi's having a push on Jenson Johnson, and I think he may have had grounds for a protest had the Indian not gone on to win the race. He certainly impedes the Iraqi there, but Jenson Johnson, when he hit the front, was not to be denied. He was always pulling away from the rest of the field, and bear in mind that Tuali is a 3:34 man, although that was a couple of years ago. The Iraqi comes through to take the silver. That was a fine, fine win. Beautifully judged.
Yeah, I think Muradi was going for a gap which didn't exist. I don't think Johnson did anything wrong at all there. If Muradi was better, he'd go round the outside. He simply didn't have it. And Johnson won that with plenty in hand. Well, set the Indian record earlier in the year on the Gold Coast when he finished in 5th in the Commonwealth Games. Here he wins his first major title. Muradi comes through for the silver. Tuali, who threatened so much, there in 3rd. Manjit Singh, another fast finish from him. But in the end, I think the 4th race was a bit too much. And Hamza Driouch, well, the days are long gone when he was running 3:33 as a junior. He has, of course, been away from the sport as a